Welcome to Sharing My Truth with Mel and Suzie, the uncensored version, where we bear it all.
We do.
Hey, babe.
Hello, darling.
How are you?
Fabulous.
Oh, fabulous. Well, welcome back, everyone, to Share My Truth podcast. I want to give you a little statistic, Melanie.
Go on then.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Apparently,
Mm-hmm.
according to NerdWallet,
Mm-hmm.
we've heard that a publication, 72% of Americans believe that in a heterosexual relationship, the man should pay on the first date. Interestingly, men were even more likely than women to agree, from 78% versus 68%.
Mm-hmm. I believe that.
Well, before we all get all into it, here's a sweet little friendly reminder to our audience to please subscribe, follow, and share this podcast wherever you're listening to it, whether it's on Spotify or Apple, or wherever else you're listening to this podcast. You can also always go to sharemytruth.com where you can listen to this podcast as well and write in to our forum there on one of your stories or ask us any questions. We love to hear from you, which is what one audience member did today. And don't forget to go to any of our socials at Share My Truth Pod on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And don't forget about Patreon. We're on there too. We'd love to see you there for exclusive content. So Mel, we have a write-in.
Yes.
And it's pretty, I love the way this man actually spoke. A lovely man wrote into us, and I think a lot of people are dealing with this now because of the gender dynamics and, you know, how men are and how women are nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you didn't have all these fucking problems when, back in your day. So,
Different problems, maybe.
okay, let's get into it. He says, "Hey, Mel and Suzie, I'm a 32-year-old guy with a solid career, my own place, and I'm genuinely looking for a serious relationship. Lately, though, I found myself getting increasingly frustrated with dating, specifically when it comes to paying for dates. I was raised with the mindset that if I ask a woman out, I should pay. And honestly, I don't mind treating someone. But dating today is expensive, especially when you're going on multiple first and second dates that don't go anywhere. At some point, it starts to feel like there's an expectation that the man should always cover everything, while we're also being told relationships should be equal. Here's where I'm conflicted. When a woman reaches for her wallet or offers to split the bill, what am I supposed to do? Part of me appreciates the gesture because it shows she's considerate and doesn't just expect me to pay. Another part of me worries that if I actually let her contribute, she'll think I'm cheap or not interested. I've even heard women say they always offer but secretly judge if the man accepts. So what's the right move here? Ladies, when you offer to pay, do you genuinely mean it? Or is it more of a test to see what kind of guy you're dealing with? And guys, do you always insist on paying, or do you let her contribute if she offers? I'm not trying to nickel and dime anyone. If I find someone I really like, I have no problem investing in the relationship. I just want to know if we're still operating under old school dating rules, or if we're pretending things are equal while expecting men to pick up the tab anyway. Curious to hear your thoughts." Thanks, my guy. Such a well-written letter as well. Mel, do you want to go first? I
Okay.
think this is interesting for you
Yes.
because obviously when you were dating, I'm assuming men were paying.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Number one, I do get this.
Mhm.
I do understand why this is confusing. However, I agree that I think men should pay. I'm saying that I'm going to add some more information into that before, I do think that women often pay. It is a test for the most
Mhm.
part. They don't really want to pay.
No.
They are testing you. I do think if you take her money, it does look cheap. However, I do get it. It's getting really expensive. So my 2 cents worth for what it's worth is I think that yes. Just
Right in
lost
the
mic
tits.
button, right in the tits. I think there is the difference between my day is also the fact that people are going on so many dates.
Yes.
On this sort of
True.
massive, quantity over quality
Yeah.
And they're going on so many because they're having so many conversations, and therefore because you're online, of course. Before you couldn't do that, and so therefore you're going on so many first dates, which makes sense that most of those first dates aren't going to go anywhere. So I think that most men do want to pay because it's the whatever the is going on in the world, those are the
Well, chivalrous.
yeah, and you feel more masculine and so on.
Sexy.
But I don't think that first date, this is where I get confused,
Mm-hmm.
is if you're going on lots of dates, so are the women. Like everyone's going on lots of dates. Probably too many dates, but that's a question for another time. Is that why are you going on this first date to somewhere really expensive, which I assume is probably a restaurant?
Yeah.
Why aren't you going, if you don't know this person, you want to have a bit of a conversation, see if there's a connection, and then you take it to the next level, which
Yeah.
in the old days we'd met already and then we went on the date where we
Right.
met somewhere at work, we met at a party, we met at a dinner party. We had that connection already and then we went on the date. So you kind of knew the date was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the difference. Why for these first dates of which you are going on a multitude of, why don't you go and do something like you go for drinks or whatever it is that you like to do, but like more low key, something more um that if it's really good you can stay, and if it's bad you can get out.
Yeah.
And then if you really like that person, the next date maybe you go to something a little bit more elaborate, fancier, longer,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is.
You want to put more of the investment in.
Yeah, more of the investment. So I do really understand what men are saying here, but I do think the onus is also on men to, if you're going to pay, you got to think about this, like strategize.
Yeah.
So don't take all these, however many first dates you're going on, 10, 20, all to a really nice dinner. Go for a couple of drinks, have a nice time, have a connection, see if it's okay. If it's great, then go to dinner. I mean, the other thing, and I will shut up in a minute so Susie can speak. Sorry about this. Is that I also think that there is an element that if you're doing a lot of activities, and I think this is a very Gen Z thing, they want to do all these fucking activities like axe throwing and all sorts of fucking things.
So fucking stupid.
Like all this shit.
Yeah.
What do you mean you went to a place and you were throwing
I mean, great
axes?
for some people. I shouldn't say it's stupid.
Yeah, no,
great for some people.
And I can understand how that's fun, but
Yeah.
but all those things, I don't want to do it, but I do get it that it's fun. But I mean, all these things cost money.
Yeah.
And the problem is any activity costs money. So I think that if you are like beyond the first and second date and you're starting to do some of those things, then yeah, the woman absolutely can contribute, because women are making money and potentially in some situations more money. I think it's about the sequence of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that, you know, and I've heard somebody once said, oh, you know, they had like a coupon for a restaurant. And they
wasn't that a question on our podcast?
Maybe I heard this on another podcast
or something like
is
that.
Like somebody had a coupon, and the guy's like, well, whoever it was it somebody famous? I can't remember. It said it, you know, like, what's the problem with that? And you're like, what do you mean? What's the problem with that?
What's the problem with using a coupon? There's a lot of fucking problems with that.
It just looks cheap.
Yeah.
So I think if money is an issue, and let's face it, is an issue for most people, have a bit of a strategy. So those first dates, you do a thing, and maybe your thing is you go for cocktails. Maybe your thing is, I don't know. I mean, coffee dates, we'll discuss another thing because I'm not a fan of those. But you go something that is, that you can connect, that is sociable, but isn't too fancy. And then the next thing is, and then maybe she can contribute a few dates in. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I really do think the sequence of it is important. And all these guys going on about paying, like, where the fuck are you taking all these first dates?
I mean, I think if we're just talking about like first and second dates, 100% the guy should pay.
I agree. And I think so.
I know that's controversial.
I know it's old-fashioned, but
there is something so fucking sexy about a man pulling out his wallet at the end of a date. And it doesn't even have to be an expensive date, right? I think that's where people get confused. It's like, we're going for happy hour, we're going for $5 cocktails. Like, it truly doesn't matter. We're going to get even like, I don't know, to-go food, and then going back to his place for like a movie night. Like, whatever it is, whatever you can afford. It is just so sexy to have a man pull out his wallet and be like, don't worry, I got it. Or even just like when he looks at you, if you're trying to like be like, oh, offer, and like being like, oh, like, do you want, like, how can I contribute, or whatever the girl's gonna say. And he's like, are you insane? Like, put your wallet away. Like,
no.
Wet panties fully. So like there's just this thing of
it's masculine.
It's just hot. Like, I'm sorry, but it is. Like, if you want me to be honest, guys, you want me to share my truth here.
Yeah.
it's hot when a guy
Yeah.
pays. And I'm definitely on the side of your side where it's like the sequence matters and the women can definitely contribute. And like for me, like with like my man, if he's gonna come over, like, you know, he'll take me out and we'll go out for dinner and he'll pay. And that's like really great because it's like he wants to do that. And then I'll invite him over to my place and I will cook him a great meal.
Yeah.
And like maybe it's different. Like I'm not paying for an outing, but like I'll make sure that, you know, there's like we have great food and like I'll even have wine and like
Mm.
I don't mind doing that. And
Mm.
then there's equal it's equal in different ways.
Well, it's about sort of giving back. I think that the sequence is important because I think if a man isn't willing to pay for a couple of drinks, I mean,
Yeah.
I know there's a lot who are going to hate this in the comments. It's like, what exactly are you
Are
going
you
to be
willing to pay
doing?
for?
Yeah, well, what exactly are you willing to do? And I know it's old fashioned, and we know that, and we've said that, and we've got a lot of comments,
I think a lot of
mostly
men want
negative.
things to go back to old fashioned ways.
Yeah, and
So what are you complaining about?
exactly, and I think that this issue of you know, masculinity and femininity, well, that's where it is, and
Mhm.
you know, we know that something's been lost, but I think it's really important also if you are a really kind of well, for want of a better word, a masculine man,
Mhm.
you're going to pay not caring
Mhm.
that she does have a good job or maybe that she makes more than you. That's the point, right? You're in charge, you're in control, you got your shit together. That's the bit that's appealing. The second bit that we understand that this must get very, very expensive.
For sure.
If you're going on what
For
it seems like
sure.
some people are going like 4 or 5 dates a week, maybe more, or even if you're going 3 and you're going for 3 dinners in a major city is just insane. And then you've got your regular social life. So I just think what is everyone doing? Like, why are you taking women out on a first date for something really, really expensive? And then you should ask yourself if that's what this woman wants.
Yeah. Can I afford this?
Well,
Can I afford this woman's
but
lifestyle?
absolutely. But also, is that the kind of woman you want? That
Right.
that's what's important to her.
Right.
I mean, I think the issue we've talked about this a couple of times of like coffee dates, which I appreciate. We've both said we don't like them, and
I
it
just feels
doesn't.
way too corporate for me.
It doesn't show a lot of effort, but I
Yeah.
think that, you know, like drinks. But then there is an issue, like some people don't drink. So if they don't drink,
Sure, but you get a mocktail or you get
yeah,
some
I just feel
non-alcoholic
yeah.
beer. Like, I don't
I also
know.
feel like you've said, like, going I can't think of any coffee shop I've ever gone to and thought, "This is sexy."
Right.
Like, if you go out somewhere, you know, to, like, a bar or a drinks place or a pub or whatever it is, yes, A, you don't have to drink, but B, it's just the lighting, the mood, the all of that,
Mhm.
and that's what you kinda have to think about, and coffee is not sexy. Most cafes have very bright lights. That is not the way you wanna meet somebody the first meeting, like, "Oh my god," you know? Um, you
I
know,
when
so
my friends
that's
tell me that they're going on coffee dates, my single friends tell me that they're going on coffee dates, I'm like, "Why?"
well,
Like, what is that really like that and I understand like, "Oh, well, you know, you don't really know this person and you wanna just, like, make sure that, like, the first meeting doesn't have" I'm like, "This is your first date with a person. If you have to make sure that you're interested in them first." Like, I think that's what people aren't doing
yeah, yeah.
enough.
They're not
You're
doing the
not
preamble before
you're
they
not
get
doing the
there, yeah.
preamble. It's like, "Oh, well, we just,
Yeah,
like we met on Tinder. We've been talking for a day, and then we're going on a coffee date." It's like, okay, but, like, maybe try to get to know each other more,
yeah.
and then you can be like, "Oh, I actually, like, really enjoy talking to this person over
Mhm.
text message. I'll probably really enjoy talking to them
Yeah,
in person."
yeah.
Maybe I'll actually spend the investment and just take her for a nice drinks place, and it doesn't have to be fancy. It can be, like,
It
some
doesn't.
random
It
patio
doesn't have to
that's,
be.
like, fun, it has a good
It doesn't ha
vibe. Like,
yeah.
that's what you really wanna
Yeah,
do.
and I mean, I know a lot of men have said to us, you know, number 1,
Yeah.
they're not getting enough first
Right.
dates. Um Women are getting a lot more dates, but I think from the female side, and you're talking about your friends going coffee dates, they really should be asking themselves, I think, why are you going on all these fucking pointless dates? Like, maybe whittle it down. Like, if you're actually having to go on a coffee date, that should be a red flag.
Well,
You
because
should be going
literally,
to something that's more worthwhile.
there's no coffee date that I have ever seen from any of my girlfriends that has gone anywhere.
It can't. I
Like,
mean,
it's
like,
just
it's generally in the middle
what
of the
is
day.
yeah.
You're not, like, in the vibe. You generally have to kinda go off to work or
There's
something.
definitely no sex
There's
after.
no
Not saying that there should be on a
that's
first date,
well, there's
but
no there's no va-va-voom in a coffee
no
shop
one's getting their tits out on a fucking
in their Texan.
in the
But I
cafe
just
over a
think
croissant.
you should be asking yourself, and, why are you going on and this is to women, on
Yeah,
so many first dates? And they'll say to me, "Well, because I'm not meeting anyone." And you're like, "Well, yeah, because 'cause you're going on too many fucking dates with the wrong people."
yeah,
Now, and then men will say to us, "Well, I can't get a date."
yeah,
And then so I think there's a mixture of guys going on a lot of first dates and then nothing happens. So they go on a lot of dates
yeah,
and then the women either ghost them or drop them or whatever, and then they've spent all this money. So for that group of guys, I do think you have to have a bit of a strategy like women do. And on those first dates, if you are going on a lot, maybe go on, have enough, but maybe not as many.
yeah.
Maybe put a little bit more effort so you know the person before, and then go a little bit more. And I
Mhm.
know that's a female thing, not a male thing, but we do all live on the internet, so do that. And then the other thing is, don't like launch into some major plans. Maybe just go somewhere like a cute, bar or a
There's
cute,
so many cute little
yeah.
places that aren't
There
that
are so many
expensive.
in lots of
And I'm
cities and
sorry, but
towns,
if
and
you're dating, if you're looking for a relationship and you're dating, and this guy obviously this isn't his problem because he says he has a career and
mm.
he's got a good job and he doesn't mind paying. But like if you are a guy and you're like, well, these things are so expensive and I don't think I can afford it. I don't think you can afford a relationship right now.
Well,
Like maybe let's
there is
focus on your
that.
career
There that
first.
I mean, that is a point. And I think that,
Like
um, maybe, like, dating for those who say it's too expensive, dating in this volume isn't the right way to do it.
no.
Like, go on a few dates here and there, but not like this serial dating. And I mean, look, we've seen it doesn't work. And I think the reason people do this serial dating, and we've talked about it, like you're talking to multiple people at the same time and going on multiple dates, they're doing it because that's the way the technology is set up for you to do
Mhm.
that. I also think there's just this
But then it's
fear.
exactly like it's set up for you to fail.
It's set up for you to fail. And I think that the other problem is that you don't know anybody. You do all these serial dates, and then you kind of feel frustrated about it, and then you just keep getting back on the wheel, as it were, don't you?
Yeah,
And I think you're right. I think everyone, and this is for the group who are getting the dates, needs to be a lot more selective of those first dates to start with.
yeah,
Because I think there's such a fear, there's such panic that I'm not going to meet somebody. So you think I'm going to go lots of quantity. And I think women and men are doing it in different ways. And I think that it isn't working. So maybe do a little bit more work on the initial connection and that leads to the initial
exactly.
date. And then that will obviously scale that down. And for then the men who aren't getting the dates, well, that is a different
Well, it's a different
issue.
issue. I
Yeah.
mean, like, the one question like, one of the questions that he gave us was, "Ladies, when you offer to pay, do you genuinely mean it?" And I know you did answer this at the beginning. I
No,
don't. I
no.
also have stopped. I have
So don't.
stopped,
Of course you
even
don't, you mean.
offering to pay.
No.
I have literally stopped offering to pay.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna do the reach.
No.
I used to, and I used to offer a lot, and I was happy to pay. I think I'm in a different mindset where I'm like, I'm looking for a guy who wants to pay the dinner bill
Yeah.
because it's sexy and
Yeah.
he knows that it means something to me.
Yeah.
And he knows when he gets home, I'm gonna give him a great blowjob. Like, there is give and take.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like
Yeah.
it's yes, she is lying if she
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I
And
think so.
I think
And I totally think so. I mean, I think there are women, and I
well,
know some of them, who do actually mean it. And the reason they are offering is because they kind of don't want the man to think you owe him something. But then I think you have to think to yourself, I mean, you really have to read the room, everyone.
yeah.
Like, if is that the kind of woman you want to be in a relationship with or not? I
Well,
mean, read the room.
because
Use your emotional intelligence.
yeah, like the statistic that I said at the beginning, like more men are believing this than women that men should pay on the first date, right?
Mm.
And so we're seeing a huge increase in women being like, no, it's fine, I'll pay. But how many of those relationships really last that long, right?
Yeah.
So, I want to speak about another little study
Mm.
of more than 17,000 heterosexual men and women found that 39% of women wished men would reject their offer to pay,
Mm.
and 44% were bothered when men expected women to help pay.
Mm.
So, I just like if you have spent time trying to get a date, you're one of these guys who doesn't like get a date easily.
Mm.
You need to make sure that you are in the mindset of, "Oh my god, I have this date with this girl. I'm going to make sure this is the best fucking date of her life."
Right.
And yeah, dates are expensive,
Mm.
right? Just like relationships are expensive, just like anything in the world, so, like, there has to be an investment. There has to be
Mm.
some kind of give and take. And if this is important to you to find a girlfriend, to find someone you
I
like to hang
agree.
out
Yeah.
with, you have to make that sort of investment. And so, yeah, you have to just be in the right mindset of like, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be able to pay for this date and not
Mm.
feel bad about it the next day being like, "Oh my god, I just spent $150, $250 on this date where it's like I didn't really like her, like, because I you get that like date regret of like I shouldn't have fucking spent that. She wasn't really that great, and so it's like take the time to do the
Yeah,
pre
exactly.
talk.
And I also think, like, if you're on a date and you're not feeling it, and you're like, "No, this
Cut it
isn't
short.
gonna," and what's that?
Cut it short.
Cut it short. But if you're not feeling it and you don't want to take it somewhere, and she offers to pay, well, let her pay then. What do you care? What do you care what she thinks?
Yeah.
And maybe focus on the ones you really like.
That's funny, but
You
I
know.
mean,
But I do
it's
think it's
tough.
if you were a bit more um selective
Yeah,
and sort out more of a connection with the person
yeah,
rather than this person is a woman, full stop. This person has boobs, that's enough. It isn't, is it?
yeah,
And I just think, this goes back to other podcasts, other episodes we've done, is like, you know what you want, the kind of woman you want.
yeah,
If you want more of a kind of woman who is very feminine, who dresses up, who maybe might be slightly more traditional, there you go, there you got your answer. If you're looking for a girl boss babe who's going to pay for everything, who's not so interested. I mean, know what you're looking for.
yeah,
I just think keep your senses, your emotions, everything like open. I think when you meet, I always say this, when you meet somebody, I personally know it very quickly.
mhm,
And sometimes I make an assessment very quickly on that person, like just on the few things that they're doing. And I'm not even
mhm,
talking about a dating situation. And then I might change my mind. But then if something goes wrong, I always remember my initial instinct was always right.
right.
And, I think about that. I mean, listen to your instincts, listen to your intuition, listen to what the vibe, right? I mean,
I think
surely.
there are some times where, and I've done this before, like, if you are kinda feeling cute and you want some like, if you're trying to, like, say thank you to your guy who's done
Mm,
something nice or something like that, maybe it's the 3rd date, and let's say you're going to a movie. I know people rarely go to the movies now, so it's probably a stupid
yeah,
example, but, like, let's say she purchases the tickets online, she doesn't even tell you.
yeah,
And then you get there and you try to buy them, she's like, "I already got them. Don't worry." Like, that's so cute,
yeah,
and that, like, means something,
yeah.
but it's just and that's how you know she wanted to do that.
But
Instead
exactly.
of playing this weird little,
But
"She's gonna offer to pay," it's kinda weird, like, "I don't
but
want her to pay."
that's
It's like,
that's what I'm saying. It's about the
yeah,
sequence. Like, as you start, the man is sort of more paying. And then as
yeah,
you go along, there's going to be more joint stuff. Like you're
yeah,
saying, like maybe the guy takes you out, but you obviously pay for, if he comes over, you pay for all the groceries, all that kind of stuff. And then that's more what you would have in a relationship. You obviously have to share costs if
yeah.
for the
If both of
vast
you are
majority of
working,
people
yeah,
have to share rent and bills, and this is the normal thing. But if you want, let's face it, the courtship, which is what dating is, everyone, it's the traditional courtship. That is the traditional way of doing it.
yeah,
I understand it's expensive. I understand that men are fed up of going on all these first dates and nothing happens, and they've sunk all this money essentially, and then nothing happens. I understand that. So be more selective. Go on less first dates. Maybe be a little bit more invested before you get there. Be a little bit less kind of um, sometimes men are just too like full on, aren't they? Assertive, like, just think about all of those things. But I do think, going back to the original question, that the sequence is really important
Yeah.
of who's
And
paying.
if a guy wants me to pay and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna split this, right?" I'm like, "Oh, so we're just friends then, right?"
Well, yeah, exactly. I
Like, how
mean,
else am I supposed to see this?
yeah,
You obviously don't wanna
yeah,
take care of me in a
yeah,
way that, like, is so simple, which is just paying for a
yeah,
nice
yeah,
outing.
yeah,
So, then we're friends, and that's fine. Happy to
yeah,
have another friend,
yeah.
but you're not getting into these jeans, right?
Getting into these jeans.
He's like, "You're not. That's
Yeah,
fine," and that's
yeah,
fine,
yeah,
and I'm happy to split the bill with a friend
yeah.
and do that, but, you know, you're not gonna get very far in the dating world if you have a mindset of just like, "I will not pay for anything more because all women are bitches." It's like, okay,
Well,
well,
then fine, then don't date.
yeah.
That's one way of saving money.
Yeah, but then all these men are now, spending money on OnlyFans, which is another story. You have money for OnlyFans, but you don't have money to go on
Well, then
dates.
they'll argue that I get more out of OnlyFans. Well, then
Sure, but
fine,
there's a
then just
man
stick.
behind that screen at the end of the day.
God knows what is behind that screen. I mean, you have no idea what's behind that screen. I mean, come on.
This is another story for another day. But no, to this man, thank you so much for writing in. We really appreciate it. And I'll end on that with just saying he also asked the guys in our audience, do you always insist on paying
Mm,
or do you let her contribute if
yeah,
she offers? And we'd love to know, gentlemen who are listening, what's the deal here?
yeah.
Are you
What's
guys
this?
still insisting on paying? What are you guys doing? And our lovely friend wants to know too. Um, Thanks so much for listening, guys. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to sign up and subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening to it. We really appreciate it. Go to Share My Truth Pod on any of our socials. You can DM us there if you have any questions or comments or anything like that. And go to sharemytruth.com to find out more about us. We love ya.
Bye.
Here's the truth. No one knows what you want better than you. And honestly, you deserve to give it to yourself. Guybreeder.com is all about men owning their pleasure, their confidence, and their wellness without shame, without apologies. Just premium tools designed for your tool. For men who know what they want and aren't afraid to give it to themselves. Because when you give yourself what you want, you show up stronger, happier, and more confident. Go ahead. You've earned it. Visit guybreeder.com. That's GUYBRATOR.com to take matters into your own hands.
Thanks so much for listening. To keep up to date with all our episodes and content, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Sharing My Truth Pod for bonus premium content and the really juicy exclusive episodes. Subscribe to our Patreon and our premium YouTube. Thanks again, and we'll chat with you next week.